Jarvan Rusau presents the audiobook, Atom Heart Life, Odyssey of Love and War, by Mohammed Yassin. Dmitri and Juliet had become close friends. They met every day, and if they couldn't meet in person, they would talk on the phone before bed. They spent their holidays together, and they shared everything with each other, including their dreams. Juliet loved to tell Dmitri her dreams, and he loved to listen. He found her dreams to be exciting and imaginative. One of her most recurring dreams was about a world of war and destruction. This dream surprised Dmitri because it didn't seem to fit Juliet's personality. She was a kind and gentle person, and her writing was usually about love and romance. But Juliet's other dreams were more logical and consistent with her personality. They were often about nature and adventure, and they showed her imagination and creativity. One of Juliet's favorite dreams was about a beautiful forest. In this dream, she was surrounded by animals and nature. In the middle is a beautiful big white deer with crystal antlers. She was happy and content, and she felt like she belonged in this place. One day, Dmitri and Juliet were walking through the park when they came to a forest clearing. The clearing was filled with wildflowers, and the trees were swaying gently in the breeze. "This place reminds me of my dream," Juliet said. Dmitri smiled. "I'm glad," he said. They sat down on a rock and held hands. Dmitri looked at Juliet, and he realized that he was in love with her. She was the most beautiful and intelligent woman he had ever met. He leaned in and kissed her. It was a soft, gentle kiss, full of promise. When they finally pulled away, they were both smiling. "I love you, Juliet," Dmitri said. "I love you too, Dmitri," Juliet said. They sat there for a long time, holding hands and talking about their dreams. Dmitri knew that he had found the woman of his dreams, and he couldn't wait to spend the rest of his life with her. Dmitri and Juliet continued to walk through the forest, their hands intertwined. They found a secluded spot under a tree and sat down. "This is perfect," Juliet said. Dmitri smiled. "It is," he said. He looked into Juliet's eyes, and he saw all the love and happiness in the world reflected back at him. He leaned in and kissed her. It was a slow, passionate kiss, full of longing and desire. When they finally pulled away, they were both breathless. "I love you so much, Juliet," Dmitri said. "I love you too, Dmitri," Juliet said. They sat there for a while, just looking into each other's eyes. Then Dmitri lay down on the ground, and Juliet rested her head on his chest. "Tell me your dream again," Dmitri said. Juliet smiled. "Okay," she said. And so she began to tell him about her dream of the beautiful forest. In the middle is this large white deer with crystal antlers. Dmitri listened intently, savoring every word. When she finished, he kissed her again. "I hope we can find a place like that someday," he said. "I hope so too," Juliet said. They lay there for a long time, dreaming of the future together. Dmitri knew that he had found the woman of his dreams, and he couldn't wait to spend the rest of his life with her. Dmitri and Juliet's conversations were a refuge for both of them. Dmitri found solace in sharing his work as a biologist and doctor with Juliet. He loved talking about his theories, research, experiments, and the rewards of discovery. Juliet, in turn, found inspiration in Dmitri's passion and dedication. She also admired his kindness and compassion. Dmitri was also drawn to Juliet's vivid imagination and her love of nature. He saw her as a kindred spirit, someone who shared his values and his dreams. One day, as they were walking through their favorite park, Dmitri and Juliet came to their secluded spot under a tree. They sat down and talked for hours, sharing their hopes and dreams for the future. Dmitri told Juliet about his dream of developing a new treatment for cancer that would be affordable and accessible to everyone. Juliet told Dmitri about her dream of writing a book that would inspire people to connect more deeply with nature. As they talked, Dmitri felt a deep sense of connection with Juliet. He knew that she was the person he had been searching for his whole life. When they pulled away from their final kiss, they looked into each other's eyes and knew that they were meant to be together. They had found the other half of their souls. From that day on, Dmitri and Juliet were inseparable. They supported each other through thick and thin, and they helped each other to achieve their dreams. Dmitri continued his work on finding a cure for cancer, and Juliet became a successful environmental activist and author. Juliet helped Dmitri to stay motivated and focused on his research. She would often listen to him talk about his work and offer her support and encouragement. Dmitri helped Juliet to overcome her self-doubt and publish her book. He read her early drafts and gave her feedback. He also helped her to market and promote her book once it was published. Together, Dmitri and Juliet made the world a better place, one step at a time. They inspired others with their love, their compassion, and their dedication to making the world a better place. On a quiet winter's night, the stars twinkled in the dark sky as Juliet walked into the cozy little restaurant. She had been invited to dinner by Dmitri. They would often spend their days together, talking, laughing, and exploring the city. So why this sudden invitation? It puzzled Juliet, filling her mind with endless questions. As she entered the restaurant, Juliet couldn't help but notice that Dmitri had chosen this particular place for a reason. It was the very spot where their paths had first crossed, where their eyes had locked in an instant connection that neither of them could forget. A smile tugged at the corners of her lips as she took in the familiar surroundings, the scent of their shared memories lingering in the air. They laughed, they shared stories, and they reminisced about their journey together. The atmosphere was serene, with soft candlelight casting a warm glow upon the room. As the night progressed, their conversation flowed effortlessly, like a gentle stream meandering through a forest. They laughed, they shared stories, and they reminisced about their journey together. The melodic tunes of Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra played softly in the background, their songs serving as a soundtrack to their blossoming love story. Juliet felt her heart flutter with anticipation, wondering what Dmitri had in store for this special evening. And then, in a moment that took her breath away, Dmitri uttered words that she never expected to hear. "I love you so much. I even adore you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I want to have children from you. Would you marry me?" His words hung in the air like a delicate dance, leaving Juliet stunned and speechless. Time stood still as well as she absorbed the weight and significance of his words. Dmitri's directness and boldness caught her off guard, but there was no denying the sincerity in his voice. He had been gathering strength for a long time, mustering up the courage to lay his heart bare before her. In that moment, Juliet felt an overwhelming rush of emotions: love, joy, fear, and excitement all intertwined within her. Amid the hush of the evening, Juliet found herself in a moment that seemed to suspend time. Dmitri's proposal lingered in the air like a sweet fragrance, wrapping her in a tapestry of emotions: happiness, surprise, and a touch of bashfulness. His eyes, intense and filled with vulnerability, searched for an answer in her silence. Dmitri, standing there, felt every passing second like an eternity. The absence of her immediate response conjured a whirlwind of doubts within him. Did his proposal not resonate with her? Was this the end? His thoughts raced, painting scenarios of separation, each one more painful than the last. The silence was an unyielding canvas on which Dmitri's apprehensions painted dark, foreboding strokes. The world seemed to stand still as Juliet looked into Dmitri's eyes, searching for any hint of doubt or hesitation. But all she found was unwavering determination and an unwavering love that shone brightly through his gaze. And in that moment, she knew deep within her soul that her answer would forever change their lives. In that suspended moment, Juliet, her heart overflowing with a mix of joy and adoration, with tears of happiness welling up in her eyes, Juliet reached out to hold Dmitri's hand, finally found her voice. "Yes," she whispered softly, her voice filled with certainty and love. "Yes, I will marry you," her words carrying the weight of 1,000 emotions. Dmitri's world transformed in an instant. His lips curled into a smile that mirrored the sunrise, dispelling the shadows of uncertainty. Overwhelmed by the rush of emotions, Dmitri stumbled for words. They stood there, cocooned in their private bubble of love, their hands now entwined like an unbreakable bond. Each touch, each exchange of gazes, each whispered promise bore the weight of their commitment. They were crafting not just a moment, but a shared future. Every sentence a brushstroke in the painting of their lives together. Their gazes, speaking volumes in silent languages, lingered longer than the words they uttered. The evening seemed to wrap around them, cocooning their love in a blanket of timelessness. The gentle breeze carried their whispered vows, promises that echoed in the serenity of that moment. In the gentle cradle of their embrace, time appeared to bend and twist, as if reluctant to disturb such a beautiful tableau. The world around them paused, granting them an eternity within that fleeting instant. They found solace in each other's presence, their shared smiles a testament to the depth of their love. The minutes turned to moments, and the moments to a treasure trove of memories yet to come. They stood there, not just two individuals, but a pair destined to inscribe their story in the stars, creating an epic narrative of love, commitment, and unwavering togetherness. And just like that, their journey towards forever began on that quiet winter's night. The stars witnessed their love story unfold as they embarked on a new chapter together, bound by promises made and dreams yet to be lived. On the morning of their much-awaited wedding day, the air crackled with excitement and joy as Juliet and Dmitri prepared alongside their closest friends. Laughter echoed through the rooms, mixing with the sound of soft music that played in the background. There was an electric energy in the air, a pulsating undercurrent of anticipation that only a wedding day could bring. As the day unfolded, the ceremony was set in a breathtakingly picturesque setting, emerging of the seashore and lush tropical plants. It wasn't on a remote Caribbean island or the shores of Hawaii. No, it was nestled in the heart of Indonesia. Juliet had always dreamt of this place, the one she had shared with Dmitri long ago. For her, Indonesia symbolized the start of a new chapter, the perfect backdrop to commence her life's journey with her beloved Dmitri. The ambience of the location was like a dream come to life. The azure sea gently kissed the shore, and the fragrance of tropical blooms filled the air. Every element seemed to conspire to make this day an unforgettable beginning, a canvas for their shared dreams. The wedding unfolded like a carefully crafted story, with loyal friends surrounding them, each contributing their own piece to the narrative of this special day. Laughter flowed freely, hearts resonated with pure joy, and amidst it all, sincere wishes wafted like a gentle breeze through the gathering. Amidst the exchange of vows and rings, beneath the radiant sky, a profound sense of love and commitment enveloped Juliet and Dmitri. The promises they made were not just spoken words. They were pledges etched into the universe, each vow a testament to their unwavering dedication to each other. As the day wore on, the setting sun cast a golden glow over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange. In this idyllic scene, Juliet and Dmitri stood hand in hand, the evening light bathing them in a surreal, ethereal glow. Their love was a melody that harmonized with the beauty of nature around them, a symphony that echoed through the hearts of all those present. The evening concluded with a celebration that resonated with the joyous beats of music and the laughter of loved ones. And as the night descended, the stars seemed to gather, bearing witness to the love that had found its eternal home in the hearts of Juliet and Dmitri. Their wedding day was not just a ceremony, but a tapestry woven with threads of love, dreams, and a future filled with promises. It was a chapter ending and a beautiful new one beginning, a story told in the shared smiles, whispered confessions, and the heartfelt embraces that marked the beginning of their journey as a married couple. Theirs was a honeymoon of dreams every moment, every vista, a canvas painted with the hues of romance and adventure. The days began with the rising sun casting its golden embrace upon the wild landscape that stretched as far as the eye could see. Their mornings were spent venturing into the heart of the untamed wilderness, a realm where animals roamed freely, birds orchestrated a melodious symphony, trees whispered tales of ancient wisdom, waterfalls cascaded with unyielding grace, and beaches shimmered under the caress of the sun. Juliet and Dmitri would explore hand in hand, navigating through the labyrinthine paths that wound through the vibrant foliage. Each step was an adventure into the unknown, a journey of discovery in the midst of nature's splendid tapestry. The air was thick with the scents of the forest, a heady mix of earth, foliage, and the salty tang of the sea. As the day transitioned to dusk, they found themselves amidst a different kind of magic. The summer nights were alive with festivities that drew in locals and tourists alike, a mingling of cultures under the celestial theatre. The couple immersed themselves in the vibrant energy of the evenings, partaking in the merry celebrations that echoed the heartbeats of the land. They found themselves in the company of not just fellow travelers, but the very people who called this paradise home. The meditative air of the nights saw them gathered around crackling fires, sharing stories, laughter, and sometimes moments of serene silence. The clear expanse of the sky became their canvas, a masterpiece of stars, planets, and constellations painted against the velvety darkness. Under this cosmic canopy, they found solace and wonder, pondering the mysteries of the universe while holding each other close. The symphony of the night, with its enchanting rhythm, seemed to synchronize with the beating of their hearts. In these moments of stargazing and reflection, they felt the vastness of the universe and the infinitesimal nature of their own existence. They were two souls, intricately entwined in this magical journey, discovering not just the world around them, but also the depth of their love in the quietude of these celestial nights. Their honeymoon wasn't just a voyage into the unknown wilderness, it was a discovery of their own connection amid the grandeur of nature. Each encounter, each shared glance beneath the stars, wove another thread into the tapestry of their shared story, a tale of love, discovery, and the infinite beauty that lay both within and beyond. In the wake of their enchanting honeymoon's end, Dmitri and Juliet found themselves back in the familiar embrace of their city. As they re-immersed themselves in the ebb and flow of everyday life, they discovered a new facet of their relationship, one marked by unyielding support and unwavering encouragement for each other's pursuits. Dmitri, in the throes of the final stages of his doctoral thesis, was a whirlwind of academic fervor and dedication. The weight of his research and the pressure to conclude years of academic endeavor bore down upon him. Yet, in the midst of this academic tempest, Juliet was his unwavering anchor. She would bring him cups of coffee during late nights, providing not just caffeine but also unwavering support, an assurance that she believed in his capabilities and his dreams. Her presence alone brought a calmness that eased his mind, even in the face of daunting academic challenges. Meanwhile, Juliet's artistic fervor ignited a blaze of creativity as she birthed a novel idea. Her days were consumed with crafting plots and building worlds within her mind, and Dmitri became her steadfast pillar of encouragement. He'd eagerly engage in discussions, sharing his thoughts, patiently listening to her ideas, and offering constructive feedback. His support was not just moral, but a reflection of his deep investment in her dreams and aspirations. In the evenings, they would meet in their shared space, a sanctuary of love and understanding. They'd exchange stories of their day, celebrating triumphs and comforting each other in the face of challenges. Dmitri's expertise in the scientific realm complemented Juliet's creative spirit, their discussions often spinning into a delightful dance of intellect and imagination. Amidst the chaos of city life, they remained each other's haven. When the weight of Dmitri's academic pursuits grew heavy, Juliet was there, a beacon of unwavering encouragement, offering solace and companionship. And when Juliet's creative process felt overwhelming, Dmitri stood by her side, a steady presence, providing the support and validation she needed. Their home was not just a physical space, but a sacred abode where their dreams mingled, intertwining in a dance of mutual respect and unending support. They were not just partners, but each other's champions, linked by a bond that transcended the ordinary, a testament to the profound depth of their love and the strength that arises from standing by one another, hand in hand, through the myriad chapters of life. Amidst the backdrop of global turmoil, Dmitri delved deeper into his research with an unprecedented fervor. The weight of his pursuit to discover a cure for cancer was not just a personal ambition, but a mission that carried the hopes of millions worldwide. The soaring costs of treatment and the bleak odds of finding a cure were a dark cloud that loomed over society. In a world grappling with unprecedented inflation, where financial instability led to widespread unemployment, the fabric of society seemed to unravel. Juliet stood by Dmitri's side, a steadfast companion in his pursuit. She witnessed the late nights and the fervent dedication her partner poured into his work. Dmitri's research wasn't just a scientific endeavor, it was a beacon of hope in a world clouded by despair. Juliet's unwavering support wasn't just in words, but in every small action, a reassuring touch, a comforting meal, a quiet moment of solace in the storm. As the world grappled with economic chaos and political rifts, they found solace in their shared mission. Dmitri's work was not just scientific, but a ray of optimism in a world overshadowed by darkness. Juliet, in her own way, found solace in her writing, weaving tales of hope and resilience amidst the tumultuous times. Their home became a sanctuary amidst the chaos. The weight of the world's troubles could not diminish the strength of their bond. They found in each other a safe harbor, a refuge against the storm raging outside their windows. In the quiet hours of the night, when the weight of the world's trouble seemed too heavy to bear, Dmitri and Juliet found strength in each other's embrace. Their love was a beacon of light in a world shrouded by uncertainty. They weren't just partners, they were pillars of support, holding each other upright in a world that threatened to pull them apart. Dmitri's groundbreaking work to find a cure for cancer, though daunting, became a symbol of hope, a testament to the power of human determination. And in Juliet's unwavering encouragement and support lay the essence of their love story, a narrative not just of romance, but of fortitude, solidarity, and the unyielding bond between two souls navigating a tumultuous world. The great powers believe that dividing developing and poor countries and spreading hatred and animosity between their peoples is a safe haven for them to remain great powers. As a result, these unstable places become a major market for the great powers' weapons. They are not opposed to selling old weapons in exchange for obtaining the resources of these countries or lending them money so that they do not have the freedom to make their own decisions. But rather, they implement what the great powers dictate to them so that they never have the option to rise up. They force the rulers of these peoples to oppress their peoples and restrict their freedoms. And if they do not implement the great powers' agendas, they fund the opposition against their ruling systems. Everyone has a price in these countries, and this is a natural consequence of oppression and poverty. If the ruler confronts these great powers, they will put pressure on him internationally under the pretext of human rights. The great powers use the divide and conquer strategy to maintain their dominance over developing and poor countries. They do this by sowing discord and hatred between the peoples of these countries on a sectarian, tribal, ethnic, or ideological basis, etc., which leads to instability and conflict. This instability creates a market for the great powers' weapons, and it also allows them to control the resources and decisions of these countries. This strategy helps to oppress the people. They do this by supporting authoritarian rulers who suppress dissent and restrict freedoms. They also fund opposition groups that they believe will be more compliant with their interests. This strategy is a form of exploitation that is harmful to the people of developing and poor countries. It is a natural consequence of oppression and poverty, and it prevents these countries from achieving their full potential. The great powers have taken control of their people completely. They only hear and see what we show them on TV, radio, and including social networking sites. Our people do not know and do not know what we want them to know. Likewise, all the countries of the world have been controlling the minds of their people. We are the ones who own the technology and including the material to be broadcast to everyone. And no one can confront our media weapon. From it we can turn peoples against each other. Let's divide them on the basis of their sports team or according to their religion. Likewise, we can plant extremist groups among them to engage in confrontations or to renounce the religion itself. Also, we can separate them according to gender, male and female, and accuse one of them of oppressing the other, and with this we make everyone feud until the formation of the family becomes feeble, and thus the family and role models are absent, and we plant in their heads what we want. For example, we ask the questions, what if the number of people were fewer? Would we not have made better use of the resources available on the surface of the planet? Instead of dividing resources among 6 billion people, they are divided by 3 billion only. We will definitely live a better life. Indeed, this idea is presented through a group of films that attract viewers. We also have to make them sympathize with the criminals, thus making their films more exciting and dramatic for viewers. For example, we show the life of a criminal in the movies as if he was subjected to injustice and oppression throughout his life, and that what he does of crime is nothing but a reaction to the injustice that he was subjected to throughout his childhood. They sympathize with them, and they always have a defect in judgment on individuals, seeking excuses for criminals and attacking the good guys because they are not human, and they increase oppression over the wronged criminal. All this will make human beings sympathetic people who follow everything we want and are therefore divided and unable to agree on anything. We take the opinion we want, support it, and show it, and we publish it among them by informing us that we will always find support for any crime we commit. All this shows the extent of greed and conspiracy that is taking place against humanity from the ruling authorities. Secret laboratories began working on preparing a group of viruses to spread among humans later, and this is in order to implement the plan to get rid of a large number of people after eliminating weaker people, and the survival of the strongest strains. COVID-19 remains one of them. COVID-19, caused by the novel coronavirus SARS-CoV-2, has become a global pandemic that first emerged in late 2019. The exact origin of the virus is believed to have been in a seafood market in Wuhan, China, though the exact source of which is still unknown. COVID-19 spreads mainly through respiratory droplets when an infected person coughs, sneezes, talks, or breathes. It can also spread by touching surfaces contaminated by the virus. SARS-CoV-2 is the virus that causes COVID-19. It's a type of coronavirus which includes other viruses like SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, and MERS, Middle East respiratory syndrome. On March 11, 2020, the World Health Organization (WHO) declared COVID-19 a global pandemic because it has spread quickly and affected many countries. To curb the virus's spread, many countries implemented lockdowns, quarantines, and social distancing measures, disrupting businesses, travel, and everyday life. The virus has mutated over time, leading to the emergence of various variants. Some variants may be more transmissible, and there is ongoing research to understand their impact. Some individuals experience prolonged symptoms even after recovering from the acute phase of the illness. This condition is known as long COVID, and it can include symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, and shortness of breath. The COVID-19 pandemic has had profound effects on public health, economies, and daily life worldwide. It exposed vulnerabilities in healthcare systems, supply chains, and social disparities. This virus and its strains succeeded in killing hundreds of millions of people, but their plan did not work out. Precautionary measures have made it harder and harder for the virus to spread, and more so that we can kill more people. Also, the virus did not affect poor people as much as rich people, but most of the victims were from wealthy people. This is because their immune system is not used to being exposed to as many pollutants, which made it fragile in the face of this virus. Unlike poor people, so we have to remedy it and find a different way. Moreover, in recent years, there has been renewed interest in the Eugenia project due to advances in biotechnology. Some scientists believe that it may be possible to use gene editing to create humans with desirable traits, such as resistance to disease or enhanced intelligence. However, there are still many ethical concerns about this type of research. The Eugenia project was a theoretical project proposed in 1907 by English physicist and geographer Sir Francis Galton. The project aimed to improve the human race through selective breeding. Galton believed that by breeding people with desirable traits, such as intelligence and beauty, it was possible to create a new generation of superior humans. The Eugenia project, a controversial attempt to control human populations through selective breeding, was revived more than a century after it was first proposed. This raises important questions about the ethics of using natural selection to manipulate human populations. Eugenia, the nightmare of controlling human populations. More than a century ago, scientists have developed a scientific theory called natural selection to describe the way genetics are passed on from one generation to the next. A relatively self-evident law, it states that individuals with traits that are better suited to their environment will have a greater chance of surviving, then pass on these traits to the next generation. In turn, we find individuals with traits that are less well suited to their environment. Environmental changes will enable them, and they are less likely to survive and reproduce. Despite the controversy, the Eugenia project did have some influence. In the early 20th century, several countries, including the United States, Canada, and Sweden, implemented eugenics programs. These programs involved sterilizing people with undesirable traits, such as mental illness or criminal records. This idea may challenge our understanding of the survival of the fittest, which states that the fittest survive. In fact, survival is not always for the fittest, nor for the best, not even for the prettiest. Nature selects for those who can survive and reproduce. The history of life on Earth provides many examples. Despite his strength, he was not the most successful at reproducing. Eugenics programs were eventually abandoned in the mid-20th century due to the atrocities committed by the Nazi regime during World War II. However, the idea of using selective breeding to improve the human race has continued to fascinate some people. One of the major concerns about natural selection is that it could be used to manipulate human populations. The difference is that nature will not be the one who decides which genes are suitable for transmission, which one should be stopped. We are. One of the major concerns about using natural selection to manipulate human populations is that it could lead to the creation of a new class of superhumans, while those with less desirable traits are marginalized and discriminated against. The methodology used by mental asylums was to target people who were psychologically broken, especially children, in order to apply eugenics to them. Prisoners and the homeless were also targeted.
We're glad you made it this far. If our video ignited something within you, we're honored. Join our Javan Rusa community to explore more and be part of our journey.